This is session 1, video number 4. We're going to move on to chapter 2 now and talk a little bit about company and marketing strategy and how these two things fit together. And we'll also introduce you to some fundamental marketing concepts that we're going to revisit later on in the semester. So the first thing we're going to talk about is strategic planning. This is a process where an organization develops and identifies, in the broadest sense, what it is it's trying to do, and what opportunities it's going to try to pursue, and what goals and objectives it's going to try to meet. Oops, sorry. At the highest level, strategic planning at the corporate level involves defining the company's mission and setting specific and measurable company objectives and goals, and then also designing a business portfolio of unique products and services that, when they all fit together like puzzle pieces, will form sort of an organization's overall activity, what they're going to be doing to help them achieve their objectives. This is just a visual representation of that. We're going to talk about each of the steps in the strategic planning process. And the first step is to define the mission. What is it exactly that the organization's purpose? What is it trying to achieve in the biggest sort of picture sense? What does it want to do? What is its purpose? What kind of value is it planning to offer, and who's it going to offer that value to? We're going to talk a lot more about value and targeting a specific market over the coming slides and also over the coming weeks. An example here of Nike. Nike's mission is to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. And so every single thing that Nike does, every decision it makes, all should be geared towards helping Nike achieve this mission. Once you know what your mission is, the next step is to figure out what are the goals and objectives that you need to put in place to help you achieve that mission. Goals and objectives should be very clear and measurable, and they typically involve many of the business measurement tools or metrics that we talk about not only in marketing but also in accounting and finance and other business courses. It could include things like increasing profit by a certain percentage or by a certain dollar value over a period of time. It could be related to return on investment or margins. It could be related to market capitalization. It could also include things like market share and wanting to grow in terms of market share. It could include expanding into international markets, et cetera, et cetera. And we're going to talk a lot more about specific business metrics over the coming weeks as well. But that step right here is about figuring out exactly in measurable, very specific, quantitative terms, what are the goals and objectives that the company wants to achieve. And then once you know your overall organizational goals and objectives, then you need to take a look at your business portfolio, all the different pieces of your business, and how each of those unique pieces of the business portfolio, are going to work together and collaboratively to help the organization achieve its overall goals and objectives. We're going to talk a little bit more about business portfolios in just a moment. This particular tool is really important and really, really famous within the world of business. It's called the Boston Consulting Group Business Portfolio or Growth Matrix. So if you notice the BCG in the title of the graphic, BCG stands for Boston Consulting Group. And basically what this does, this tool enables business leaders to categorize the various products in their business portfolio into 4 broad categories based on 2 really important metrics: market growth rate and relative market share. So the first one that we're going to talk about is a star. A star is a very desirable product to have in a business portfolio. It's really, it's got a very high growth rate. The industry in which a star is competing has a very high growth rate, and your particular product within that marketplace has a relatively high market share. You are the leader or one of the leaders in that particular product category. Stars are really important. Businesses love to have a lot of stars in their business portfolio because they represent an enormous amount of potential and for profit and for growth in a particular business unit. The next one we're going to look at is a cash cow. Cash cows are those products that have been around for a while, and they actually generate a lot of cash for organizations. What you notice about cash cows is they tend to be in low growth markets, meaning that the growth in that particular industry has already happened. It's happened in the past, and there really is relatively little growth to be expected into the future. However, for cash cows, even though there's very little growth to be had in the future for this product, your particular company has a relatively high market share in that particular industry. These kinds of products require sustained investment, but they're very positive things to have in your business portfolio because they do tend to generate a lot of cash for the organization. Question marks are the next business portfolio category. Question marks are products that are competing in a high growth industry, but your product itself, your company, has relatively low market share. Now, question marks by themselves aren't necessarily bad things. They offer real potential because, after all, the market is growing. But you've got a lot of catching up to do because you're not the leader in that particular product category. So if you want to move a question mark into either a star or into a cash cow, you're going to need to make very substantial and very strategic investments to turn that product around. And the last product is a dog. A dog is a product that is in a low growth market, so there's very little potential in the future for this product to really sort of take off. And you happen to be low market share. Your product in that industry has relatively low market share. These products don't really offer a whole lot of long-term potential for organizations. There's not much growth potential, and you're way behind the market leaders in this particular product category anyway. If you have a dog or several dogs in your product portfolio or your business portfolio, you may want to start thinking about whether or not you want to get rid of those products in the long run and take those precious company resources and invest them either in your question marks, your stars, or your cash cows. Sorry, why is this not moving here? There we go. The next thing we want to talk about is making those really tough decisions and looking at growth and where the growth opportunities might be. It is important to recognize that tough decisions sometimes need to be made, especially if you have products in your product or business portfolio that aren't really performing, and the likelihood of being able to turn them around and make them into high performing products or brands is very limited. And so sometimes companies need to take a good hard look and say, well, do we need to downsize or eliminate certain products in our product portfolio? Certainly, if you have a dog, if you categorize any of your products as dogs, that would be something you'd want to think about. The next thing I want to talk about is growth strategies. And this is another really important marketing concept that we tend to use a whole lot throughout marketing courses as well as other courses in the School of Business. Basically, with the exception of acquisitions or buying new companies as a way of growing your business, there's really only 4 possible ways to grow your business. They're called market penetration, market development, product development, and diversification. And I'm going to give you examples of each of these right now. So we're going to use Tim Hortons as an example. So if Tim Hortons is looking to grow its business, one of the things it could do is what's called market penetration. Market penetration involves taking the existing products that Tim Hortons already sells and selling more of those products to the existing consumers that it targets. So it's the same market and the same products. Just encouraging their existing consumers to buy more. Things like loyalty programs, if you see loyalty programs being offered by various companies, loyalty programs are designed to help the company grow using market penetration. It's about selling existing products, Tim Hortons donuts and coffee and bagels and muffins, to Tim Hortons existing customers, encouraging people to buy more of your existing products. People who are already buying your products, encouraging them to buy more. The next one is product development. Another way to grow is to introduce new products to your product line and sell those products to your existing customers. And Tim Hortons has actually followed this particular strategy quite aggressively. Tim Hortons always introduces, or quite regularly introduces, new products to their existing customers. They introduce new varieties of donuts, or they introduce new sandwiches, or a variety of new products, and they sell those products to existing Tim Hortons customers as a way to grow their business. Another way Tim Hortons can grow is through market development. Market development involves taking Tim Hortons' regular everyday products, it's coffee and donuts and other baked goods, but selling those existing products to brand new markets, markets that currently aren't already consumers of Tim Hortons products. So that could mean opening a new store in an area that doesn't already have a Tim Hortons store. That would be an example of market development. And the last growth strategy is called diversification. Diversification involves, and it's the highest risk of all the 4 growth strategies, diversification involves taking brand new products the company doesn't already sell, so developing new products and selling those brand new products to new markets. So a really bizarre or out there example might be Tim Hortons deciding they're going to start manufacturing shoes, which they currently don't sell, and selling those shoes in the Caribbean, which is a market where Tim Hortons doesn't currently have a lot of business activity. So those are the only 4 ways a company can grow, aside from buying other companies or acquisitions. So it's really important to think about, as you're looking to grow your business, which of these 4 growth strategies, either by themselves or in combination, do you think you should pursue as you try to grow your business? Stay tuned for video number 5.